Hello, beautiful mindsetters. It's that time of the week again where we bring you some awesome live sciences with myself, your boy Ndogozo Mbanani, and I'm one of the top 10 presenters, and I'm just so excited to be with you guys here for the first time ever. But then again, I'm not alone. I'm with Mr. Lou. Hello, Mr. Lou.
How are you doing?
I'm good in yourself.
Not too bad, just having a good day. And
that's really, really good
so
to
are
hear.
you guys?
Sorry?
I said hopefully they are as well.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing really, really well at home. Remember that you guys can post all your questions on Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/learnextra. But before we hand it over to you, Lou, I just want to say thank you very much to Macmillan for sponsoring today's show. This show would not have happened without you. From myself, all the Mindsetters home, as well as the Mindset crew, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Lou?
Thanks. Hello, hope you guys are all doing well. Well, I know the last time I saw you, we did some plants, and now we get into the animals. And I know that people love doing animals. A lot of people are not very happy about plants, and some of them don't like plants, and some of them love them, and some of them love animals. I'm an animal person, so hopefully we're going to enjoy this. Right, so first thing we need to have a look at, if we have a look, I'm going to just indicate what we are studying, right, what we're going over. Firstly, biodiversity. Okay, biodiversity is all the different things on the land. So in other words, we're looking at crocs, we're looking at hippos, we're looking at insects, we're looking at all the different things, okay? That's all the different animals in the environment. That's what biodiversity means, right? Okay, and we're looking at invertebrates. Now, can you tell me what an invertebrate is? It's not that difficult, okay? If you think about it, we're looking at which in this case, if I can highlight it, I'm going to highlight it in pink, right? That part means it hasn't got a vertebral column. Okay, now that's this brother running down here, if you can see me turn around, right? It's that back piece, that whole piece, that's a vertebral column, right? So we're looking at animals that don't have that, right? Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Now, what I've done, okay, is I've decided that to be able to classify or put them into different places, right, we need to look at specific things. And the first thing we look at is body plans. Now, body plans is how we can cut them. Right? To think about it, humans want to cut everything up. Am I right?
True.
That's it. We want to cut everything right. So if we have a look at it, we're first going to look at, okay, sedimentary, right? So we're going to have a look at if it's symmetrical, asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, right? We're going to have a look at tissue layers, okay? We're going to have a look at cephalization. This huge word, okay? Huge, cephalization. We're going to have a look at the guts, okay? I know I said opening in guts, but it's guts, that deep inside, somewhere here. Am I right?
True.
Okay, cool. And then coeloms. Okay, spelled very funny, and you're going to forget it because I normally do, right? And then, if we have a chance, I'm going to explain to you the different blood systems, right? So, now, let's go to the first one. Okay, we're going to look at how we can divide different things, right? So, if they are symmetrical, asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, right? And if they're bisymmetrical. So, let's have a look at what each thing means, okay? If you look straight on the board, asymmetry, if I can highlight it, right? Asymmetry is an organelle that cannot, there's the big word, cannot be divided in any way possible. Now, the nice thing about it is, I was looking around. Now, I couldn't get the animals because, try this out, they wouldn't allow me to do this show at the coast. Don't you think that's unfair? I think it would have been beautiful. Can you imagine? They're on the beach.
Yeah.
Because you can find these animals in the ocean. Now, I would have been able to go dive in, go and fetch one, come out and show you. But I brought something that'll help you remember it. So I'm going to lean over. There we go. I've leaned over. Right? So this is, if you have a look at this is a shell. Okay? It's not this big shell, and it's not a small shell. It's just a shell. Right? It comes from far away, right? And I want you to have a look at it. There's little spirals here, and there's little things coming out here. And if I wanted to cut this so that every part looks identical, right? Would I be able to do that? Okay, so if I had to take this and cut it down this way over here, just like this, right? Would this side, which has got that, look identical to this side, which has got that? I
No, I don't think
so. What do
so.
you think so?
No.
Right? Or if I cut it down the middle here, right? Right down the middle. Now have a look. Some of the spines are going to be this side. Some of the spines are going to be this side. This side will look completely different to this side because of how it's shaped. Okay? That is, this part is called asymmetrical, which means, here again, okay, cannot be divided. There's no chance. No matter how you try, you can't even do little squiggly things like that, like this. It's never going to work. Never going to work. Right. Okay, cool. Then we're going to have a look at radial symmetry. Okay? Radial symmetry. What does radial mean? Okay? Not radio. You know those things that we bop and tune, right? Not those things. Yes? We're looking at radial as in one of these. Circle. Right. We're looking at a circle. Radial. Now, some things I couldn't get, some things I could, right? But I brought you one of these as well. So if I lean over again, there we go. I've got it. A starfish. Look how cool that is, right? I got this because I was a good boy at school today, so I got a star, right? That is a starfish. Now, if I have a look at it, this can be cut in different ways. I can cut it right down the middle here, right? It'll be even on each side, right? I can cut it down the middle here, right? I can cut it down the middle here. Have you noticed how I can cut it in every single way? I can cut it in a circular motion, like a pizza. Best way to explain it, a pizza. They're the best thing to cut in radial symmetry. We all got it. Nice. That is very, very, very important. Now, if I put that back, let's go to the next one. Bilateral symmetry. Bi means two. Means we have to cut it into two. Now, if I had a look at this, I'm going to reach back for that starfish. There we go. Now, if I cut this that way, right, this side is identical to this side, right? Okay, cool. If we got that all right, that's bisymmetrical, right? But look at this. If I turn this, I cut it down here. Now it's bisymmetrical again. Turn it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're cutting it in the middle all the time, which means I'm cutting it in circles. So this is radial, okay? If I have a look at bi, now, I brought this because I think this is so cool. I had this in my class, so I needed to show you. Hey, my little croc. I love my little croc. Right, this here is bisymmetrical. Because if I took it like this and I cut it right down the middle, between the eyes, this side is going to look identical to this side, right? Okay, what happens if I cut it like this? Not going to work. What about from tip of the nose here to over here? It's not going to work. Only can be cut one way, right down the middle. I can't even do this and cut it down the middle there because that side is is completely different to that side. Right, that means this is bisymmetrical. Can only be cut right down the middle and only one way. Right, that is bisymmetrical. Now that's the first way we can classify our animals in, right? It's whether they are asymmetrical, right, radial symmetrical, right, or bisymmetrical. So what I did was I came along and I brought you nice pictures. The first one, of course, is a starfish, and I'm going to show you how it's done, right? I'm going to take the pink, and I'm going to cut it down the middle there, right? And I can cut it, let's see, down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there. You see where I'm coming from, right? Everywhere I can cut it, it's going to look even on each side. That means the radial symmetry is perfect. Okay, that's the first one. If I have a look at the beautiful, right, butterfly, my son's favorite animal for some reason, right? The butterfly, I can only cut it down the middle. Yes, I cannot cut it that way, even though you think I can. Okay, but watch carefully. Here I've got these little antennae. Do I have antenna at the bottom? No. I've also got a head here on top. I don't have it at the bottom, do I? So it cannot be cut. It's not exactly even. You get what I'm trying to say? It's very important to understand it's got to be perfect, okay, to become more than one-way cut. Okay? Then I've got the last one. Now, this one is the one I was telling you about. This here is a sponge, not the ones you wash your dishes with or the ones we wash ourselves with. This is a beautiful, colorful sponge. So you know when you go to Mauritius or all those places with a beautiful ocean that's see-through and you see all the bathers swimming and there's these coral, right? That's what a sponge is. It's coral. So can you understand why I wanted to do this from the coast, but they wouldn't let me? Huh? Jumping in the water, and there we've got all these beautiful coral, which are sponges, right? Now this, you try and cut this, because I've tried everything. It's impossible. So let's try in front of you, because maybe I'm going mad. Right, I like pink for some reason today. If I cut it down the middle, I really don't think that's even. Right? No matter how I look at that, it is not even. So I'm going to cut it this way. Try this way. Definitely not even either. What about this way? No, this way. There is no way I can get it right. Not even, right? Not even if I had to pop it up like this. So let's say I want to split this piece in half, just that piece. Okay? I cannot even do that, because this part here is different to this part here, if you look at the board. Right? It's very different. No matter how we try, it's completely different. You cannot cut them. Okay? So that is how symmetry works. Now, that is the first thing people are going to ask you. Is it asymmetrical? Is it radial symmetrical? Is it bisymmetrical? And later on, I've got to show you how we'll ask these questions and what's the best way to answer it and how to answer it. Right, so let's carry on. Next thing to look at is tissue layers. Now, tissue layers, I know you think that it's not like the tissues that we blow our nose with. So let's get that right first, okay? Tissue is very, very important, because remember, it's a bunch of cells together that do the same function, right? That makes a tissue. That's what makes a tissue so important, right? So we're going to look at tissue layers. Now, the first one, all animals start from a single cell, if you remember that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot. I think I can do that. No, I can't. I'm going to draw it up here. Right. So we start off as this single cell over here, right? Your mother, let's use humans, right? Your mom's got an egg. Your dad brings a sperm along. There's a sperm. He comes along and he joins in, and it becomes one cell. He joins in there and it becomes one cell. Okay, so there's the cell. Single cell. Now, look at this body. It came from a single cell. One cell. Now, understand that a cell is like yes, small. You understand where I'm coming from? It's like you can't see it. Okay? There's lots of cells in this body. And it started off from one. Right? So what actually happens is we've got the sperm and it fertilizes the egg, right? And this egg starts going through mitosis, right? And as it's going through mitosis, it gets more and more and more cells over and over again. So I've explained it here. Single fertilized egg, right? You get your embryo. There's the embryo. It's an embryo, and it starts going through meiosis. Mitosis, sorry. You don't get that wrong. Mitosis, okay? And as it's going through mitosis, okay, the cells start to move, okay? They start to move away from each other. Okay? And as they move away, they start growing, right? So you get this cell, because mitosis, remember, it's a single cell, right? And this cell, this side, divides into two, the same size, not the same as the parent, but the same size. So if I draw this here, okay, you've got a cell, let's say the cell's that big, right? And when it goes through mitosis, it's still that big, right? But it divides into two cells. Then these two cells grow to the exact size as the parent cell. So which means that cell is going to be that big. And that cell is going to be that big. Can you see how we've grown? That's how we grow. Okay, cool. So this goes through mitosis, yes. And as they're going through mitosis and more cells come together, now we start getting this thing called differentiation. So I've got it here somewhere. There it is. Differentiation. They start to go through differentiation. Because if you think about it, your stomach cells, right, is completely different to your skin cells. Can you imagine your stomach on your skin here by any chance?
No.
I mean, just think, terrible. Okay, I'm going to eat today, just put it on there and the stomach will do its job. No, it's inside, and the skin does a specific thing. It protects everything on the inside, right? So these cells are here for protection. Then you get the stomach cells, which are there for grinding and to put all the acids and everything and contain all the food, right? And then you've got your heart cells, which is there to pump, right? And to push that blood all over the place. Every cell has a specific job, right? Now, but we came from one cell. Can you see how confusing this is? It's very important you understand this. Okay? One cell becomes this. And this has got like tons of machinery inside it to make me work. You with me? This is very important, right? So it goes through differentiation. Okay? What I want you to do, while I'm busy jumping up here and going mad, right? Please go for a quick break, have a good stretch, and come ready, right? And I'll see you straight after the break.
Sure, Mindsetters, we've taken in so much knowledge. Thank you very much, Lou. Make sure that you join us after the break because we'll be continuing with some more mind-setting life sciences. Stay with us. Hello, Mindsetters. Welcome back. We're still continuing with some great lab and life sciences. But Lou, I'm really worried that there are no questions that are currently coming through on our page.
I don't even know if you're watching. I mean, normally you guys are like telling me how things are going, and I'm standing here and I'm like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Come, at least say hi.
At
right?
least, you know.
At least say hi.
An act of kindness.
That's it. Simple. Right. Now, we ended off, right, with how we're going to get different tissue layers. Now, remember I said to you that we've got a single cell, goes through meiosis, and we get grows, right? And after a while, they go through differentiation to make the stomach, the skin, and all of these different things. Now, before that happens, it starts moving into 3 tissue layers. Now, these 3 tissue layers, not all animals have them.
What?
Right? You're going to get, not all animals have them. So you're going to get 1 layer, you could get 2 layers, and you can get 3 layers. So think about it. Outside always means epi, right? It's an epidermis. So here we are. It's an epidermis. I'm going to go over there if you got it. Epidermis. The middle is mesoderm. There we go. And on the ecto means outside. Sorry. Endo, inside. Meso, middle. And ecto, outside. You see, even I lose it at times. Right. So don't stress. I mean, I mentioned big words and I've forgotten them. So don't worry about things. We have 3 layers. The endoderm, which is the inside, the mesoderm, which is between the inside and the outside, so it's this piece in between, which is called the mesoderm, and then you get the outside, which is your ectoderm. Nice and simple. It's not very difficult. Right, but what I've got this picture. There we go. Now, the reason why I put this picture in is there's 3 different types of layers. So I'm going to give it one of these, okay, so pink, right? There we go. There is the layer. You see there's a gut. It's an inner piece, right? You get the endoderm and the ectoderm. Can you see it? Okay? Endoderm, ectoderm. We got the gut in the middle. Right. Then we get the gut in the middle once again. Then we get the endoderm, the mesoderm, and the ectoderm. Okay? 3 layers. Now we're looking at the third picture. Now the third picture is a bit strange. We got this red thing in the middle of nowhere. Okay, red thing in the middle of nowhere. If you can have a look at it. Here it is. I'm not even going to just look at the board. It's in the middle of nowhere. Here it is. Can you see it? I'm going to draw pink all over it. There we go. That red layer, okay, it's very important. We're going to learn about it. And we classify animals according to that. Okay, so first of all, how many layers does this thing have? Has to have 3. Okay, if you look at it, there's the gut. Forget about the gut. A gut is a hole. Okay, it's just like a pipe. Inside is a hole. Okay, so you've got the gut, right? Then you've got the endoderm, right? You got the mesoderm, which is the purplish color, if I'm not that bad. And then you get the out part, which is the ectoderm. And this red part in the middle here is called the coelom.
What do you call it? Pronounce it again.
Coelom.
And what does it do?
We're going to get there. Coeloms are very important because there's actually a true coelom, there's a false coelom, and there's no coelom. Hey, how cool is that?
Oh my God.
Yes, it becomes more difficult as it goes on. But, trust me, you're going to enjoy it, hopefully. Okay, so we've all got this. Don't worry about the coelom. At the moment, I'm worried about those 2. You get 2 and you get 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm worried about. Right, nothing else. Okay, cool. So, if we go, cephalizer. Can you remember I said this is a big word, huge, but like this size, right? Huge word. Cephalization. It's not, what was I thinking of? Civilization. No, it's not civilization. It's cephalization. Now, cephalization is us. How cool is that? We've gone through cephalization. Now, anything, if you watch this has not gone through cephalization. This here is a starfish. Okay, and what does cephalization mean? Let me just bring this one. This one, okay, he's gone through cephalization. Even though he's a croc and his brain's like yay big, okay, it's gone through cephalization. Now, what is cephalization? Okay, cephalization, if I have a look here, is when you get your nerves, right? Your nerves, you know, the things where if I slap you and I feel it, right? Those nerves, they all come together and they clump in a specific point, right? And they form this big thing that I know every single one of you out there has. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Think about it. A huge thing like this big, and we training it all the time. Try it again.
Epidermis?
No, big like this and...
Oh, brain.
Brain. This is perfect. That's excellent. So now we're training it. Cephalization says whether we have a brain or not, right? It's very simple, whether you have a brain. So the brain is a collection of nerves, right, that's actually making us work better. The more complex animals, the bigger the brain, right? So if you think about it, a starfish, it don't need a brain. What about what's it? That animal that like floats in the sea like this, and it's got these long things all the way down, and it hangs, and as it goes past a fish, it stings them, and it grabs it all up and it eats it.
Octopus?
Close, but it's got more
Jellyfish.
than 8 thingies. Sorry?
Jellyfish?
It's a jellyfish. Now, a jellyfish is so cool because that is a cnidaria. Okay, we're going to be talking about them, right? Now, the cnidaria is very important, and it's different steps of making biodiversity and classifications, right? So now, if we have a look at this, this what was it called?
Jellyfish?
Jellyfish, right? It's got no brains. It just floats in the water all day. That's not a point. It's a pointless job, eh?
Yeah, true.
Pointless job. But it's got a job. Everything's got a job, right? So this is, if we have a look at it, okay, it's a neuron system. It creates the brain. It's the best way I can explain it. We always use these big terminologies. How about we take cephalization and brain? Simple, right? It makes a brain. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you little pictures. And there's my starfish. I was so happy with the starfish. Now, if you have a look at it, we got a hydra. Here's a hydra. I've written it down. And you get a starfish, right? Now, I'm not worried about the starfish's big name, right? I am worried, though, about the hydra, okay? Because I said to you, cnidarian, okay? Those guys do not... Can you see a head anywhere? I can't. No matter where I look, there's no head, okay? Here's little army thingies, right? Like tentacle things out. Here's where it'll sit on the rock, right? And there's a little body. So I don't see any head. Now, head is where the brain is, right? Now, if I go down and I bring these guys up, look at those. Okay, now we've got the 3 different ones. We've got an insect, right? And cannot tell me an insect doesn't have a brain. Right? Think about it. You drop a breadcrumb over there, right? And an ant from over there, or there's no ants anywhere, and that ant will find that breadcrumb. Have you noticed?
I have.
It's amazing. That's why no one should drink near or spill drinks anywhere, because an ant just found, or a bee.
They have tentacles as well, so I guess that's how they're able to sense where the food is located.
That is very nice. So as it comes through, they've got to have a brain to grab all that stuff and understand what's going on. Right, so the insects have it. Look at this thing. This is a leech, okay? Now, leech is actually cool. You know that we used to put leeches on us to get rid of, if people were very sick, they used to put a leech on you to suck out all the bad blood. Hey, how cool was that?
But then, Lou, isn't a leech poisonous?
No. Not all of them are. It's actually, a leech is actually quite cool at times. They're actually using the leeching again. So they were leeching and they think, oh, no, that's very bad. They used to throw them away and they said, no, we can't use leeching. And now all of a sudden they're bringing leeching back because it actually does clean your blood. It takes out all the rubbish, okay? Now, he needs to know this, okay? Yes, he's got this one tube over here and he's got another tube over there, but just in this part of the pot here, it's got a head, it's got a brain. It needs to think, right? It needs to know where it can latch on with those big, ugly teeth to like, grab in and go mad, right? That's its job. Then we have a look at this thing here. Now, looks like a worm, It's not a, what's those things with the shells on the back of that wards about the garden? Try, it's a snail. Doesn't it look like a snail to you without a shell?
Sort of does.
Yeah, it does. A snail without, it's not. Right, so, get that out of your head. This is a worm. But you won't believe it. You see how flat it is here against the board? Yeah, it's a flatworm. That's what it's called. A flatworm. Okay? It's a terrible big name. Okay? We will get to them. I don't want to put all these big words into your heads now. I just want to explain how things happen. Right. This is a flatworm, and guess what? It's already labeled. Brain. It has got a brain. It needs to go somewhere. Okay. Okay, it's a platyhelminthes. How cool is that? Platyhelminthes is a flatworm. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to carry on. The next part is your body cavities. Now, this is where that other word comes in, with a CO. Can you remember what it was called? No. A coelom. Okay, body cavities. Now, the body cavity is a fluid-filled space. Okay, if you have a coelom, it means that you are more complex than the next organism. Now, it's a fluid-filled space, there it is, that lies between the digestive system, right, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the outer part of the mesoderm. Right, it's the mesoderm. So it lies between the digestive tract and the outer walls of the body, right? Very simple, okay? This is called a coelom, okay? Now, it's not a colome, it's a coelom, okay? Coelom, very nice word, okay? It's always, if you have a look here, diploblastics do not have such a body cavity. Diploblastics. Now remember I said to you we get 3 layers. Okay? We get ectoderm, we get mesoderm, and we get endoderm. Right, those are 3. Now what happens if I take the mesoderm away? How many derms do I have? I have 2. So what is 2 in biology? Dip. Like diploid. Right? Can you remember diploid? I've spoken about it before. Diploid, 2. So it's diploblastic. There it is. Diploblastic. A nice thing. Means it's only got 2 layers. Right? Then you get triploblastic, which has got 3 layers, as we were talking about. Right. Now, I'm going to bring this down so I can talk to you. Remember I said to you that every animal, I'm going to pull this, I want you to write this word down. If you're writing down, write this word down. This big, it's pseudocoelomate. Pseudocoelomate. Right. If you have a pseudocoelomate, it's a big thing. It's a fake coelom. Pseudo, there we go. That piece there means fake. Okay, it's terrible, fake. It doesn't have it. It's like pretending, right? So if I bring this down, okay, I've brought all 3 animals that we need. Okay, we've got all triploblastic, right? But now I want you to have a look at this. You see how this part over here, there is a gap. Oh, maybe that's not nice. Let me see if the yellow will work nicely. There is a gap. See it? And there is another gap, right? Can you see it's not all the way through? This one here, you see the white, it's all the way through, right? If you take it all the way through there, can you see that big hole of white, right? That part there is a coelom. It's a cavity, okay, between the digestive tract, which is this brother here, right, and this mesoderm or endoderm over there. Can you see it? Okay, cool. That is it. And if I pull this all the way down again, does this have this white hole? The last one. It is blue, red, and then the gut. Okay, now, you must understand this. That pseudocoelomate, right? The false coelom. Have you noticed how it goes right round the gut? Okay? Have a look at this. If I take you up to this one, it's got 2 on each side, and it's not completely joined. Now, if you look at humans, okay, you won't believe this, but humans, we have a coelomate. We are a coelomate, sorry. We have a coelom. So the coelom is, in this big fat thing of mine, right? Over here, okay? It's here, and the reason for it is to house more important things. Like, let's think of what is important. Liver, okay? How about your liver? Your kidneys, right? All of those things you'll find in the coelom, okay? Because the digestive tract is down the middle, and then you get the coelom, right? And now, I want to pull this down. I'm sure, no, I had another one. There it is. Okay. Your different guts. Now remember, you get two types of guts. I want to run through this because I need to make sure that you understand things, right? You get two types of guts. You get a through gut, which is me. Okay? Now, if you had to take me, which is going to be very difficult, and you grab my head and you grab my feet and you give it this tug of war thing, right? You're going to stretch me like never before. And you open my mouth and you put a light down, right? You will see a hole right from my mouth all the way down to my feet. Okay? Not right to the middle, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I
Okay?
get you.
Now, the way the food goes, you could drop a marble and it'll come out between the legs. That's how it's a through gut. Hole in the top, hole in the bottom, one-way ticket right through. Right. Now, that is, right, a through gut. Now, if I have a look at it, that's why I put this in here. Okay? We've got from the mouth, it goes from the mouth down into the stomach, all the way down into the small intestines. And I know you can't see that for some reason. And it goes all the way, and it goes into the large intestines and all the way down, out. Right? If I stretch that, it's one long pipe. Right. Now, if I have a look at the last one, a through gut, a normal gut, what happens is they eat in a hole and it comes out the same hole when they're finished with it.
That's unhygienic.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Very.
And guess what? We've got this thing is over here, right? So I want you to see that. I'm sure we're going to put these up, right? But I want you to go for another stretch because I think it's question times. I want to help you with the questions. It's all yours.
Guys, I'm really starting to be sad now because you guys aren't posting any questions. Please make sure that you go onto our Facebook page and post all your questions. You can get us at www.facebook.com/learn extra. Make sure that you join us after the break because we continue with some more mindsetting life sciences. Stay with us. Welcome, Mindsetters. I hope that you guys are ready and refreshed because we are about to continue with Great Lebanon Life Sciences. Mr. Lou.
Hello. Now, what I've done is I've put up some questions, and I'm so glad for Solutions for All from Macmillan, right? I've got these questions from there. So they are on there. They're lovely questions, and it always helps. Right, so what I'm going to do is, the first question I had a look at, I'm going to abbreviate as we're going because we don't have much time. Right, so I want to give you as much information as possible. Now, what I've got here is I've got these big names, right? Now, I've placed them in the order, right, according to how do I say it, how complex they are. Okay, so if we have a look at it, Porphyria is a sponge, okay? Can you remember that blue sponge in the beginning, right? That beautiful sponge. What type of symmetry does it have? Okay, could I cut it in half or any other way? No, so it is asymmetrical. Just plain and simple. Asymmetrical. Okay, cool. Now, let's have a look. Cephalization. Do you think that in Mauritius, underneath the ocean, right, you've got these beautiful colored little corals that's floating around that are sponges, are beautiful, right? Do you think they have a brain? That's the question. No. Okay, so there's no cephalization. Simple. Cool? Next one. Number of tissue layers. Now, it only has one. Okay, but people think that it's not very built up. Okay, so I'm going to give it one tissue layer because it's actually not a true tissue layer. Okay, so it's one. There we go. Make it like that so it looks pretty. Cool. Number of gut openings. Did you see a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom for it to go one way through, like the marble, right? Marble through my mouth, right? You know what I'm trying to say, right? No. So it's only got one hole. There it is. One hole. Okay, cool. And presence of the coelom. Can you remember what a coelom is? It's that hole or the sac around the gut. Can you remember that? Okay. It won't have one. There is no ways it will ever have. And the last one, blood system. I haven't spoken about a blood system. Now, you know you got a blood system. You got a heart. You got arteries, then arterioles, then capillaries, then venules, then veins, and back into the heart. Right. That's a blood system. That's called a closed blood system because the blood never actually leaves. Okay. It does leave, but it doesn't leave. It doesn't leave. An open blood system is. Try this out. This is the way that I can explain it. Right. So you're going to get blood, you're going to pump it, and you're going to like take it and throw it over an organ. Right. And it's going to land on an organ, and when it's on an organ, it's going to like come down, collect all the rubbish, and then go into a drain and into a pipe again. Right, that's an open blood system. It's the best way I can explain it. Okay, you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, so do you think that these sponges have a blood system? No, but there's no ways. There's no blood system. Okay, cool. Next one, Cnidaria. Now, I showed you Cnidaria, and I actually labeled it as well. Can you remember? It was that bloody thing, it looked like it had hair. Can you remember? It had like little hairs all over the place. Right, so that's a Cnidaria, okay? Or it was that thing that floats in the middle of the ocean with the tentacles. You all remember what that was called, right? That was floating around. So, symmetry, okay? Could I cut that thing all over the place, or could I only cut it one way? Can I not cut it at all? Okay? You can cut it in different ways. It's called, okay, radial symmetry. Okay, so I'm going to put an R there for radial symmetry. Okay, right? Does it have a brain? Okay, doesn't. It won't have a brain. It's just floating in the middle of the sea doing nothing, right? And grabbing up all the fish and doing all the ugly stuff, right? Okay, that's how I see it at the moment, right? So it does not go through cephalization, right? Okay, the next one, number of tissue layers. It is diploblastic. Okay, is it diploblastic? It is, so it's got 2. Next one, it hasn't got a through gut. In other words, does it take food in the one gut and out the same hole, or does it go in the one hole and out the other? Okay, it doesn't. It goes in the one hole and out the exact same hole. So it is only 1. Okay, is it a coelom? Remember, coelom, it's got to have a digestive system? No. So there we go. And then, of course, blood system, not a chance. Okay, can you imagine you would see these, what are they things called again? I'm trying to think. They float in the ocean, jellyfish, right? The jelly, can you imagine blood running through the jellyfish? You would just see it red, or whatever color the blood might be. It might be alien and green. We never know, right? So there's no ways, okay? Let's have a look at the next one. Here's a nice big word. Platyhelminthes. It's a big word for a flat worm. That's all it is. Flat worm. Now, let's have a look at it. Symmetry, okay? Is it radial symmetry? Is it asymmetry? Or is it bisymmetry? Can I take a worm and cut it a long ways down? Would it be the same on the one side and the other? Or can I cut it across and it's going to look very different with a head and a tail? Okay, so it is bisymmetrical. Right. Next one. Cephalization. Does a worm have a brain? Yep. It knows to go down, to go fetch whatever it needs, and come back up. Okay, so let's have a look at it. It does, so yes, it goes through cephalization. My writing is horrible today, but anyway, okay. Number of tissue layers, 3. This many. Okay, has to have 3 layers because it's got a gut inside. Okay, next, so it's got 3 layers, plain and simple. There we go, 3. Okay, gut. It goes in one and out the other. I mean, that's what's so nice about worms, right? They're the first start of a triploblastic animal, right? Goes in one and out the other. It's cool, awesome. So it has 3. It has a through gut. I'm going to say a through gut, T for through gut. Let me get an eraser here because I'm telling you, I'm writing so beautiful today. Okay, it has a through gut, right? Presence of a coelom. Coelom. Now, can you remember I put up those 3 different parts, right? And we saw a coelom, and you need to know what a coelom is. It's the cavity, right? That's around the gut. These guys, okay, have a false coelom. Can you remember what a false coelom is? Okay, it's I'm going to just put false, okay, F-A-L, right? False coelom. It's pseudocoelomate, right? Okay, pseudocoelomate. That's what it actually is. False coelom. Okay, next one, annelids. Now, what is an annelid? We've spoken about a flatworm. How about we bring in the earthworms? What are they? They are like this pen. They're roundworms. Okay, roundworm. Now, is a roundworm bi, radial, or asymmetry? Okay, it is bi. Very nice, very simple. Bisymmetry. And this is how you must do it in the test. Just go through it in your head over and over again. Okay? Does it have a brain? Yes. Okay, so let's give it a brain. Okay, now can you remember when we do classification, we start from the easiest or the most simplest and we go to the most complex. Okay, so let's have a look at this. If we've had 1 tissue layer and 2 tissue layers and we had 3, is there more than 3? No, there's only 3. So will it have 3? It has 3. Very nice. Next one. Does it have a through gut? Okay, it does. Very nice. So it has a through gut. Okay, is it a coelomate? Yes, it's the first coelomate we get. Okay, so there it is. It's a coelom. I'm going to put a C there. And I left the flatworms, the platyhelminthes with blood, and I've left the annelids with blood. Now, I'm left with those two because they are very cool. Okay, now, I'm going to have a look at this. There is, how many? 2, 4 left. Okay, now we need a blood system. Okay, does it have a closed or open blood system? That is the question. I'm going to leave those for last. Okay, so let's go through the easy parts because we should know the rest so far. Okay, here we go. Arthropods. Now, what is an arthropod?
Lou?
Yes.
But before we continue with that, I think there's a very, very interesting question here.
Sure.
Gunu Sinalo is asking, he's saying, if these animals such as earthworms eat with the same hole that they use for excretion, does digestion actually take place?
Hold on. Earthworms, okay, earthworms have got 2 holes. It's got a through gut. You are talking about these cnidarias, okay? It actually does because you're thinking about you're thinking about it coming in one, right? It goes inside this, so it comes in this hole over here, comes down into this, and while it is in this area here, it sucks all the nutrients out, and then this stuff that's on the inside gets washed out again, comes back out of the hole. Okay, so if I had to I'm going to lengthen this, I think I can. There we go. I'm going to lengthen this, and I'm going to quickly draw it so that you can understand it. Okay, if we have something that looks like that, because that's what they actually look like, right? If I have this object coming along and it goes into this hole here, right? All its nutrients get sucked up into this area, and it goes round and it gets sucked up, and whatever it doesn't like leaves at the top. Okay, so digestion actually does take place, but not that cool, if you understand what I mean. Hopefully I've answered the question.
I hope, yeah, the viewer at home is actually answered.
Ah, nice. And remember, the earthworm has a through gut. It's a long pipe, okay, just like us. Right, so let me go back up and get there. Right, arthropods. Do you know what an arthropod is? Do you know what an arthropod is?
No, I don't. How about we actually turn that into a challenge question on our Facebook page?
Okay, cool. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Arthropod. I'm going to go to chordata then. I've got 2 minutes so that I can show you the rest. Look at chordata. Now, chordata means, do you have a spine, a cord? You know this cord here at the back that I was talking about? Chordata means it's got a cord. Now, let's have a look. The questions are we asymmetrical, radiosymmetrical, or bisymmetrical? Now, let's see. If you cut me this way, like from here, and you cut me all the way down here, is my back identical to my front? No, I got this big thing up here, and I got a big thing at the back. It's 2 different things, right? If I cut me down here, down the middle, I'm going to have an eye on the side, an eye on the side, an arm on the side, an arm on the side, hands, feet, you name it. Right, what about if you cut me down through the belly here? Right, I'm going to have legs on that side and a brain at the top. It's never going to work. You get what I'm trying to say? Bisymmetrical. There it is. So bi. Oh, now I've changed color. So we brighten the day up. Right, cephalization. Do we have a brain? You do, definitely. Me, on the other hand, I worry at times. I mean, my wife says it all the time. Hey, she doesn't know. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But you guys, I know you got a brain because I keep putting answers, I keep throwing out questions, and I know you're getting them right for some reason. I have this. See, I can't even say that I can understand you because of the brain problem, right? So, yes, we do, okay? We have a brain. We got a big brain, right? Huge brain. Okay, number of tissue layers. Thousands. We got millions from the inside all the way to the outside, but they're classified into 3 sections, which means triploblastic. Okay, so we got 3. Very nice. Number of gut openings. Now, that is a good question. So I'm going to eat in one and drop it out the same one. Am I right? No, there's no ways. In this one and out the other. Insert, exit. That's it. That's how it works, guys. Insert, exit. Okay, so that is a through gut. Very nice. And then presence of a coelom. Okay, when I was explaining coeloms earlier, we were talking about, okay, it's very simple, we're talking about what does a coelom actually do. It houses important parts. So the liver, the kidney, all of those things. So do we have a coelom? Of course we do. We've got kidneys, we've got livers, right? We've got the important parts. Okay, there we go. So we are a coelom. And do we have an open or closed blood system? Okay, if I get hit really hard on my arm, all of a sudden the open blood system starts working. Okay, I get a big bruise, right? Which we don't want. Okay, we have a closed blood system. So I'm going to put here CL for closed. We're all happy with that. Okay, now let's have a look at the difficult parts. I've still left arthropods alone, and no, it's not King Arthur and the Round Table of Knights. Okay, it is arthropods. I'm glad you like that. Don't ever forget it, right? There's a reason why I said that, because it's very important to remember this, right? This little worm here, it's got a blood system. Okay, if you cut this thing in half, if you cut a worm in half, does yucky gooey stuff come out? What do you think?
I think it would.
Yes, so it's got a blood system. They've actually got a closed blood system, both of them. Right. The one that doesn't is this one here. This has got the special, the open one. Okay, the open one is very special. Okay, it's the most important one. So let's have a look at this. What is an arthropod? Okay, did anybody give me the answer?
Not yet.
Okay, so now you listen, so let me show you.
Oh. Actually, we've got William
Yes.
Rasakanya. He's saying that arthropods is the phylum in which insects belong to. Is that
Very
correct?
nice. Insects, and they've got these big pads and these sections, right? Like King Arthur and those knights and all the knights and the big armor and that, right? So the armor, see? Beautiful arthropods, right? So they are bisymmetrical because you can cut an animal ant in half one way. Do they have a brain? Yes. Okay, how many layers? 3. Do they have a through gut? Of course. And do they have a coelom? Of course. Okay, so there are the 3. Now, what I want to do, I want to get to some nice questions. I've got some stunning questions, and we don't have a lot of time. So I want to give you something that I love teaching. So if I have a look at it, I'm going to go to it, see if I can get it. No, I think it's one more. One more. No. This one. Let's bring it down all the way, all the way. It's got to be here somewhere. I'm sure I put it on here. Yeah, this is it. Okay. But I don't know if I'm going to get to time with that. So I'm going to go back one because it's going to be very difficult. There we go. Let's have a look at this one. Study the diagram below. Provide label A, B, X, and Y. A, there it is. B, X, and Y. I'm going to start you off on this question, and I'm going to put these questions up. If you have a look at it, there's that mindset web where you've got all the notes. I've put all these questions on for you guys to go through. Okay, very important. Go through them. They're very, very nice. Right? So let's see. What is A? What is B? To have a look at it, we're going to have a look at this funny thing here. This piece here. Can you see? I'm going to color it in. This piece here. What do you think that is? Okay, that is a gut. Yes. And you get that funny thing, and then you get the mesoderm and ectoderm. Okay, it's your coelom. So B is a coelom, and A is a, what do you think A is? It's A means not a coelomate, a coelomate, right? Let's see, what is X? X is a gut, Y is a coelom. Okay, very simple question, very well answered. All you got to do is concentrate. You can do this. It's very simple. I promise you it's very simple. Right. Okay. Name the animal that shows radial symmetry. What? Name that animal showing radial symmetry. Well, I would say that is radial because it's even, right? Sorry. I would say that is radial symmetry, right? And an animal that will do it. I'm telling you, I've lost everything. Tongue, everything doesn't work today, right? It's very simple. I would say what is that thing called? Can you remember? Jellyfish, that's the one. Okay, but I will see you soon. So hopefully you have a good time. Hopefully I helped you learn. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Lou.
It's a
Hope
pleasure.
you guys at home had a very, very interesting time with us right here on Mindset Learn. Thank you very much again for tuning in, and thank you very much for all your questions. And I really hope that you guys at home have actually been answered. Remember that you guys always have to download all our notes on the show. And last but not least, just want to say thank you again to Macmillan for sponsoring today's show. This show would not have happened without you. But for myself, Lou, and the Mindset crew, it's goodbye.
symmetry, okay? Radial symmetry. What does radial mean, okay? Not radio. You know those things that we bop and tune, right? Not those things, yes? We're looking at radial as in one of these. Circle, right? We're looking at a circle, radial. Now, some things I couldn't get, some things I could, right? But I brought you one of these as well. So if I lean over again, there we go. I've got it. A starfish. Look how cool that is, right? I got this because I was a good boy at school today, so I got a star, right? That is a starfish. Now, if I have a look at it, this can be cut in different ways. I can cut it right down the middle here, right? It'll be even on each side, right? I can cut it down the middle here, right? I can cut it down the middle here. Have you noticed how I can cut it in every single way? I can cut it in a circular motion, like a pizza. Best way to explain it, a pizza. They're the best thing to cut in radial symmetry. We all got it. Nice. That is very, very, very important. Now, if I put that back, let's go to the next one. Bilateral symmetry. Bi means two. Means we have to cut it into two. Now, if I had a look at this, I'm going to reach back for that starfish. There we go. Now, if I cut this that way, right, this side is identical to this side, right? Okay, cool. If we got that all right, that's bisymmetrical, right? But look at this. If I turn this, I cut it down here. Now it's bisymmetrical again. Turn it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're cutting it in the middle all the time, which means I'm cutting it in circles. So this is radial, okay? If I have a look at bi, now, I brought this because I think this is so cool. I had this in my class, so I needed to show you. Hey, my little croc. I love my little croc. Right, this here is
Hello, beautiful mindsetters. It's that time of the week again where we bring you some awesome live sciences with myself, your boy Ndogozim Banani, and I'm one of the top 10 presenters, and I'm just so excited to be with you guys here for the first time ever. But then again, I'm not alone. I'm with Mr. Lou. Hello, Mr. Lou.
How are you doing?
I'm good in yourself.
Not too bad, just having a good day, and
that's really,
hopefully
really good
so
to
are
hear.
you guys.
Sorry?
I said hopefully they are as well.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing really, really well at home. Remember that you guys can post all your questions on Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/learn extra. But before we hand it over to you, Lou, I just want to say thank you very much to Macmillan for sponsoring today's show. This show would not have happened without you. From myself, all the Mindsetters home, as well as the Mindset crew, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Lou?
Thanks. Hello, hope you guys are all doing well. Well, I know the last time I saw you, we did some plants, and now we get into the animals. And I know that people love doing animals. A lot of people are not very happy about plants, and some of them don't like plants, and some of them love them, and some of them love animals. I'm an animal person, so hopefully we're going to enjoy this. Right, so first thing we need to have a look at, if we have a look, I'm going to just indicate what we are studying, right, what we're going over. Firstly, biodiversity. Okay, biodiversity is all the different things on the land. So in other words, we're looking at crocs, we're looking at hippos, we're looking at insects, we're looking at all the different things. Okay, that's all the different animals in the environment. That's what biodiversity means, right? Okay, and we're looking at invertebrates. Now, can you tell me what an invertebrate is? It's not that difficult. Okay, if you think about it, we're looking at which in this case, if I can highlight it, yeah, I'm going to highlight it in pink, right? That part means it hasn't got a vertebra column. Okay, now that's this brother running down here, if you can see me turn around, right? It's that back piece, that whole piece, that's a vertebral column, right? So we're looking at animals that don't have that, right? Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Now, what I've done, okay, is I've decided that to be able to classify or put them into different places, right, we need to look at specific things. And the first thing we look at is body plans. Now, body plans is how we can cut them. Right? To think about it, humans want to cut everything up. Am I right?
True.
That's it. We want to cut everything right. So if we have a look at it, we're first going to look at, okay, sedimentary, right? So we're going to have a look at if it's symmetrical, asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, right? We're going to have a look at tissue layers, okay? We're going to have a look at cephalization. This huge word, okay? Huge cephalization. We're going to have a look at the guts. Okay, I know I said opening in guts, but it's guts that deep inside, somewhere here. Am I right?
True.
Okay, cool. And then coelomes. Okay, spelled very funny, and you're going to forget it because I normally do, right? And then, if we have a chance, I'm going to explain to you the different blood systems. Right, so now, let's go to the first one. Okay, we're going to look at how we can divide different things. Right, so if they are symmetrical, asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, right? And if they bisymmetrical. So let's have a look at what each thing means. Okay, if you look straight on the board, asymmetry, if I could, bisymmetrical. Because if I took it like this and I cut it right down the middle, between the eyes, this side is going to look identical to this side, right? Okay, what happens if I cut it like this? Not going to work. What about from tip of the nose here to over here? It's not going to work. Only can be cut one way, right down the middle. I can't even do this and cut it down the middle there because that side is is completely different to that side. Right. That means this is bisymmetrical. Can only be cut right down the middle and only one way. Right. That is bisymmetrical. Now that's the first way we can classify our animals in, right? It's whether they are asymmetrical, right? Radial symmetrical, right? Or bisymmetrical. So what I did was I came along and I brought you nice pictures. The first one, of course, is a starfish, and I'm going to show you how it's done, right? I'm going to take the pink, and I'm going to cut it down the middle there, right? And I can cut it, let's see, down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there, and I can cut it down the middle there. You see where I'm coming from, right? Everywhere I can cut it, it's going to look even on each side. That means the radial symmetry is perfect, okay? That's the first one. If I have a look at the beautiful, right, butterfly, my son's favorite animal for some reason, right? The butterfly, I can only cut it down the middle, yes? I cannot cut it that way, even though you think I can, okay? But watch carefully. Here I've got these little antennae. Do I have antenna at the bottom? No. I've also got a head here on top. I don't have it at the bottom, do I? So it cannot be cut. It's not exactly even. You get what I'm trying to say? And highlight it, right? Asymmetry is an organelle that cannot, there's the big word, cannot be divided in any way possible. Now, the nice thing about it is, I was looking around. Now, I couldn't get the animals because, try this out, they wouldn't allow me to do this show at the coast. Don't you think that's unfair? I think it would have been beautiful. Can you imagine? They're on the beach.
Yeah.
Because you can find these animals in the ocean. Now, I would have been able to go dive in, go and fetch one, come out and show you. But I brought something that'll help you remember it. So I'm going to lean over. There we go. I've leaned over, right? So this is, if you have a look at this is a shell, okay? It's not this big shell, and it's not a small shell. It's just a shell. Right? It comes from far away, right? And I want you to have a look at it. There's little spirals here and these little things coming out here. And if I wanted to cut this so that every part looks identical, right? Would I be able to do that? Okay, so if I had to take this and cut it down this way over here, just like this, right? Would this side, which has got that, look identical to this side, which has got that? I don't think so. What do you think so?
No.
Right? Or if I cut it down the middle here, right? Right down the middle. Now have a look. Some of the spines are going to be this side. Some of the spines are going to be this side. This side will look completely different to this side because of how it's shaped. Okay? That is, this part is called asymmetrical, which means, here again, okay, cannot be divided. There's no chance. No matter how you try. You can't even do little squiggly things like that, like this. It's never going to work. Never going to work. Right. Okay, cool. Then, we're going to have a look at radial